fintech is just starting. With what's happening around the world and the talks, how fintechs can provide loans and deliver many other use cases is actually getting ignited now.
Fundamental lack of infrastructure in fintech. So kind of in my view, fintech really hasn't even started. It has sort of been a stepchild of the internet boom because fintech really has to involve both data and money. And so far, you've only had the ability to move data.
So it is clear they are targeting the movement of money. Remember, this was back in 2018. And as we can see, what Chris and others have stated, like Brad Garlinghouse, is now standing as truth. They are standing tall on what they said, and what they said is becoming correct or the truth. And you can see that that's actually shining in the sun.
At the same time, we was always keeping an eye on what was going on with virtual currencies. And Bitcoin obviously was a real breakthrough, but there have been a lot of attempts over the years. And so we were watching things like...
And what are they keeping the eyes on? It's virtual currencies. So now that Ripple is the Amazon books of remittance, if the virtual currency standard sets in, it will evolve as Amazon for payments. Now that's previously highlighted by many executives in Ripple. Now when I say that, you have to actually also understand some things which are actually coming within this video.
But it just seemed like it was a matter of time before you'd have a global digital asset with no kind of government backing and no counterparty.
If you see value in the video, please do hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification icon to get notified about the future videos. I just want to say thank you guys for making this possible. The Scientific Investor channel has reached another milestone, 3,000 subscribers. The Scientific Investor family is actually growing within this XRP community, and I would like to thank all of you guys for supporting. So yes, they are focused on all types of payments and are also eyeing the global digital asset position. Do remember that, the global digital asset for all types of payments. Question is, do you want to be a part of this evolution? Or how are you responding to the greatest financial research and the historic wealth transfer? Say after 10-20 years, will you say I missed that opportunity, or will you say I seized that opportunity? Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly.
Pathfinding algorithms so that anything of value can be exchanged along with that digital asset to really, I think that was kind of the birth point of this Internet of Value.
The Interledger protocol, which we'll show in a little bit, actually is almost like an overlay protocol over blockchains, but then also traditional financial systems.
Note that down, guys. Anything of value can move through XRP ledger, through XRP. And when ILP is connecting different ledgers to move value, I'll say I want to buy more XRP. Yes, I agree at this point. If I buy more, I'll average my positions a bit more. Anyway, that's not the matter here. What they stated here, in my opinion, is that value movement in the future will be through XRP ledger using ILP. So anything of value or everything of value will actually move through this, and the value all around the world is actually measured in quadrillion or quintillion dollars. So what you have to understand is, if that's actually coming into the network, this is gonna be huge, because realistically, if we are even getting a quarter of that market, XRP value will be so high, ordinary individuals won't be able to buy it. Now, rather the goal of Ripple, the company, will be or is to be a successful solution for institutions. So they will buy that, right? The institutions will buy it and sell it at any cost, because they're just using it for their own benefit. Now, when we see a lot of retail and enterprise requirements are popping out and a lot of coins coming out, different assets, many will have a doubt which coin will turn out as the ruler of payments. So for that, you have to actually listen to this.
Is the Ford Model T, in my analogy earlier. It was the first breakthrough that gave us a lot of attention, hope, and hype about how that technology could be used, but it hasn't shown the ability to scale or mature to be used in an enterprise way.
So they are actually focusing on the enterprise use cases, the institutional use cases, right? And for that, the scalability and the environmental issues are, turning out as a black sheet on those proof of work coins. And, when you listen to this from XRP Boy here, you actually get more idea about that.
Take the technology and evolve it. Very similar to Ethereum. And Ethereum, I think, now has very clear examples of how that's evolved. You can look at Quorum, the JP Morgan platform that is based off Ethereum and specialized for their use cases.
You can see coins trying to evolve, understanding this basic concept. Now, at the same time, what you have to actually look at is, but by the time they try to evolve, Ripple has already moved into hundreds of production contracts. So what you have to actually understand is when proof of work coins are trying to shift or evolve into proof of stake or more, they will take a bit more time. Now, when we actually say this, you actually understand the partnership with Ripple, the company, through many institutions are actually allowing XRP to move. And now it is actually getting validated, right? Now, this one from John Wick actually shows when they need to get market attention, after the evolution, they actually have to go out and do the marketing stuff. But here, Ripple do not need to do that. Now, institutions are approaching them because of its value. And why they are doing that? Because last 3 to 5 years, these guys work so much, they already did the marketing. Now it's the value which is actually taunting banks and financial institutions to come towards them. Now, this one from Stephen Deep shows this. You can see that it correlates really well with all what we have stated, mainly in one of our episodes previously in which we discussed about the chief of Santander and their aim as a banking institution. Now, Santander is a big bank. If they are letting this in a knowledge base for public, that means we are out of accumulation phase. Now, if we are out of accumulation phase, what you have to think is, say, this is the accumulation, this is the reaccumulation and the distribution at the top. So when this is happening and the capital markets are showing that, XRP is the strongest altcoin and which gives you the highest return or significant value by purchasing somewhere around the accumulation zone. So during this time, what you actually have to understand is when capital management firms says this during the accumulation phase, you really have to keep an eye on when you're buying. Are you buying during the accumulation or are you buying during the reaccumulation? Because when I say that from the charts, this is the difference between both. Say one, if you buy during the accumulation, you get around 140,000 based on previous cycle. And if you're buying on the first reaccumulation phase, it's around 14,000. And if you're buying in the second reaccumulation phase, it's 3,000%. So which one are you looking out for? Now, that's completely up to your risk reward ratio, how you do the trading, how you invest, what type of investor you are. Because this is a game of long-term connected events, you will be actually seeing all these playing out in the near future. And when these are actually playing out, we will be actually out from the accumulation or the first reaccumulation phase. We may be in the second reaccumulation phase, but when the price moves, you can actually see that happens in just a couple of weeks. So prepare yourself to be a success in the coming decades. If you see value in the video, please do hit the like, subscribe and the bell notification icon to get notified about the future videos. Help the channel grow, reach out to more of our community members.